All right. Cool. Hello and welcome. It's been a little bit, so I wanted to kind of pop in, chat with you folks while I do some work today. Well, probably not a whole lot of work, honestly. Um, but the games, the daily games with my breakfast. Um, doing my checks first, clicks. But yeah. So Extra Life ended up getting delayed. We are figuring out what weekend works best for as many people as possible. Kind of sorting that out. And yeah, just generally kind of it's been a while. It's been a weird year. So okay, so I think it's a combination of factors, honestly, with what's going on with the Extra Life. One of them is simply that we changed our format this year. We were aiming to change our format. This way a little bit. There we go. We were looking to change our format a little bit this year. So every year since we started doing Extra Life in, I want to say 2014, somewhere in there. Every year that we've done it, actually I can look. It's the website, extra-life.org. Okay. 2015. Yeah, looks like 2015 was the first year we did it. Every year that we've done it, in that time, we've done the same thing. So, there was 1 year it was actually Tripper. Well, it was 2 years it was Tripper. But generally, I would design a 24-hour one-shot campaign of a TTRPG. The first year it was Scion. That was a blast. We've talked about that a few times, I think, on the channel. I can always explain more if you've never heard of that campaign, but that was a good one. That was fun. I kind of wish I still had the videos of it for multiple reasons. One of the players that was there has passed since then, so there's also some memories attached to that. But we didn't know that Twitch didn't save your videos for very long at the time, and so this needs to. There we go. Hey, okay. Don't know where the desktop audio was coming from. Anyway, we didn't know that it didn't save your videos for more than like a couple weeks. So when I realized, hey, we should actually save these videos, I went to go get them. They had already been deleted, like 6 months earlier. Anyway, so we what was it? So we went ahead and we were doing the Extra Life campaigns were always done as one-shot TTRPG campaigns that I, for the most part, wrote. There was, like I said, there were a couple years that Tripper did it, but that was the norm, was that I would write them. And yes, there's a foster dog here who just wants some love, and yeah, his name's Mako. We're actually looking. We might adopt this one. Isn't that right? But no, isn't that right? Yeah. All right. Now, I'm trying to eat and stream though. So anyway, that was the norm. That was what we would do. Is we would we would do that. And this year we decided we were going to do a LAN party. We wanted to actually do video games. We're about to go into a commercial break. You know what? I'm just gonna. I know YouTube won't have the ad break here, but Twitch does. So in 18 seconds, it's going to go to a commercial break. So I'm just going to stop talking about it for a moment until the ad break ends, so you don't miss any of that discussion. So see you very, very soon. 3, 2, I guess 1. Oh, is the ad over? No. I guess the ad's over? Alright, well, whatever. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, what was I saying? So I was talking about how, the thing is, Extra Life has always been a group thing. It's always been a thing that my wife and I were doing together. We got interested in it. At the same time, I don't actually remember. Oh, there it goes. Sure, why not? Alright, cool. According to the Streamlabs, the ad break is over. So, here's the thing. I think one of the things that happens is I'm often the face of a lot of what we do here. You know, I'm the GM of most games we've done on this channel. I'm often hosting the games, even if I'm not GMing. I'm often the person that's kind of talking to you, and I'm one of the only people that ever does streams on this channel where it's just a solo person. And officially, I run the channel. Like it was originally my channel that I then converted into a team channel, and I still kind of maintain ownership over it. And so, and I'm the primary admin on the Discord, and so it's very easy to think that this is my thing. That Rabbit Haberdashery is a project that I came up with. That is my thing. That is me doing it, and that is not strictly accurate. For one thing, it has always been from the very first time we did Extra Life. It was me and Carol. It was the two of us, and in fact, in that campaign, in that thing that we did, that TTRPG, we did Scion. The players that were there was me, Carol, a childhood friend of Carol's, and then a friend of hers, like that childhood friend brought another friend. like she was the linchpin, she was the connection, and in fact, that has remained true through the channel. If you look at the people that are on the channel right now, I mean, there's Grizz, who is her son from before we met, my stepson, but she brought him into my life. She she introduced him to me because she already had him when we met. Uh, and you know, uh, Winter, who is his fiance, and then it's like Jacob, who she met at work. It's Steven, who she connected with over video games, and really kind of, through Grizz met him and then introduced him to her because of video games, and then she brought him in through their love of video games. When we actually knew Dave from a previous church, we've known him for many years, and Carol is the one who maintained contact with him and his wife um, over the years. Like, I wasn't great at that. She really connected to Dave's wife because of our kids, partly connected to Dave because of, again, video games and their love of computers. They both work in that field of computers, and so they talked about that sort of thing. And so what has happened is, and then you have all these people like that, like Chris and Eric and stuff like that, that Pointless, that Dave brought in, that are people that hear through Dave, and really the only people that you've ever seen on the channel that I brought to Rabbit Haberdashery have been Tripper and Matt. Everyone else is connected to Rabbit Haberdashery because of Carol. Like, she has always kind of been the heart of this whole thing. She came up with the name Rabbit Haberdashery. And one of the things that came up is that it's always been fine, like that I was doing the tabletop RPGs, that I was running that stuff, and that I was coordinating the Extra Life event and stuff like that. Like, she's fine with letting me coordinate things. I like coordinating things more than she does. I like being the face of things more than she does. Stuff like that. And so this has always been it's been fine, but the fact is, she is a video game and I am a tabletop gamer. And so we complement each other really well as a nerd marriage in that way. But it does mean that we've always been doing my thing. Every year, we've been doing my thing for Extra Life. And we've never done her thing, even though Extra Life is our thing. It is something that we are doing together, is that we have always been doing together. And so we really wanted to explore this year changing that. Having it be that we were doing her thing, we were doing video games. She's been wanting us to try to do that for a while. And, I think it might be, I don't even remember if this is true or not, but I imagine that at some point we talked about even, trying this before. I shouldn't say this way. I know that we have talked about trying to do video games before. I think I might have a memory of us very early on talking about trying to trade off with some regularity, and then never doing that. But I know that we've talked about trying to do video games before, but we never really committed to it. And that to a certain degree, that kind of devalues her place in all this. Because it really does kind of make it look like it's my thing. Which is not fair to her. And also, I like video games, and basically everybody in Rabbit Haberdashery likes video games. So this year we decided we were going to try a different system. We were going to try to do a video game based Extra Life event. And then I think partly because of that. Um, oh, partly because we were changing the format, and partly because this created a wild difference in the way that we were planning things. Um, I think that was part of what really kind of screwed the whole thing up. Honestly, it kind of made it such that it just didn't. We didn't do a great job of planning this year's event, and um, and then plus just there's been a lot going on in everybody's lives. Everyone who is part of Rabbit Haberdashery, everyone who's part of this, who would have been the people coming in to do that game. There's been a lot going on with our lives, and so I think there's a lot of factors that went into it. But in the end, the fact is, this year's event was not super well organized, and it has kind of gotten away from us. And I'm concerned about whether or not it's even going to happen as a group event this year, the same way that it normally would. But we're working on it. We're trying to fix it. Oh, see another. I didn't do that because my family likes sports. We grew up in a household that loves sports. Sports, but hmm. I think it's for both. Look that up. Oh, okay. Forbidden. That's probably that. Well, none of the other ones mean forbidden though. Prescribed is a good thing. I think. No. Learn something new every day. Wait, what? Those categories are always like the most annoying. But you have that happen. Alright, let's do the mini. Toast. Timed. Wait, what? Oh, I did it last night. What I did last night was today's? Forgot about that. The regular crossword. I don't really want the regular crossword. Is it like a mini archive? Did I do yesterday's mini? I thought I was doing yesterday. Hmm. All right, guess we're moving on. I never finished that one yesterday. Oh, you know what it was? I was mad. They were like, Bridge Tower. I was like, what the heck is that? I don't know if this doesn't have to work anymore. Let me try this. Nothing. There's supposed to be words showing up right here. I'm gonna do that. It doesn't. I don't know why. I gotta fix some of the box, I guess. Failing. Sandwich. Bun. Not bun. Close. Bread. Hey. Oh, so close. So close to perfect. Never get like pretty good game. I never get perfect on it. I think Coach says I think I'm repeating myself when I say that's a pretty good game and that I never do perfect on it. Live that challenge every time. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. All right. Let's see. My 3 starred words didn't work because I was clicking in the wrong place. Wrong window. Whoops. Whoopsie doodle. I prefer guesses that let me add new letters to the mix so that I have more letters to work with for every other word. But I'll take double letters. Too. I like it if this one was ripened, but there's no end. I feel like I might know that. I feel like I've an eye out for that. When I finally solved number 5, I'm like, oh, that's what I'm expecting. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that S there. Dang it. Wait, no, I'm already down. I can't make any more mistakes or I'm gonna get them all. I need an alert sound for that. That'd be a nice touch today. You know what I think? If I'm gonna keep doing this. I mean, I like doing these puzzles and kind of chatting with you, but so it has to end in T. So the T can't click no. You get one wrong. I usually think that type of thing through better. Oh well. Let's go over broke at this point. Well, I obviously want to get as many rays as I can, but I'm not gonna have a perfect game. That's that. I'm only getting one of these. ER space Y. Berry. Probably berry. Is there 2 R's? Yes, it's berry. What's this one? Let me see if I can at least figure it out. Ader and Fairy. Yep. Alright, well. If I had looked better one time, if I had noticed that S, I'd have just made it. But I did not. Okay. Puerto Rico. Okay. I used to work with a bunch of people from Puerto Rico. bad of a job I do with this one. That was his original. 59 players. Oh, I know this one. I know the captain. Yeah. No. Anyway, I worked at a KFC in West Springfield, Massachusetts. And at the time that I worked there, the vast majority of employees in that shop were of Puerto Rican descent. And by that I mean, I think that there was like the vast majority of people there. I think there were like 3 people, including me, that weren't in this demographic. I think, yeah, like 3 people. The rest were all like, Puerto Ricos. Wait. Anyway, what's this Puerto Rican flag? Probably is. Everyone else was either born in Puerto Rico or had a parent born in Puerto Rico. Like everybody. And so it was very like it was very heavily Puerto Rican. And I was one of a very small handful of people that worked there that did not speak Spanish. All the Puerto Ricans spoke Spanish. I think all but like one or I think all but one of the people who didn't have ties to Puerto Rico also spoke Spanish. It was really just me. I took French in high school. So and I've had a number of friends who were also like outside of that, but that place was like I was very much the odd man out in that I did not know Spanish. I did not know. I didn't know any Spanish. It was the only job I've ever had where that came up. Like, it's surprising because Spanish is so common in the U.S. And so you would think that would be a common issue. Like the fact that I chose French instead of Spanish would be a common issue. Like it would be a problem that arises for me quite a lot, and it has not been. Because I did French instead, and then Burkina Faso. But like I had, like, oh, camera does touch it. have to do warming. But I still had to go through another country, right? I guess that would have been shorter. Okay. Virginia to New Mexico. How we do that? Ooh, it's Monday. Weekly challenge time. Okay, so anyway, but yeah, I took French in high school, and then like my first fiance was a French student. Like she was going to school for French. Like that was her degree program. She ended up marrying a guy from France, as it happens. And big on France. And so there was a lot of French in that relationship, obviously. When I moved to Boston, I worked at a restaurant where I was a cook, and the entire back of house, except for me and I think two other guys, well, three other guys. There were me and three other guys who were not from Haiti. One of them was from Brazil. The other two were like from Boston. But they were all Haitian immigrants, and so they spoke Haitian Creole and French, and varying degrees of English. There were a couple of them that like didn't speak any English, but they still understood enough English to get by. And there were a few who spoke very fluent English, and a bunch in between. And so, French ended up serving me really well there. Like Spanish would not have helped me. The one guy who didn't speak Haitian Creole at all, being from Brazil, his native language was Portuguese, but he also learned French. So we would just talk in French when we needed to. and so like that keeps coming up. Like French keeps being, and then there's my wife's family is French Canadian, among other things, but largely French Canadian, and so there's no one in her. She doesn't have any relatives that only speak French, but the relatives who like spoke another language at home, it was French. It was Canadian French. It wasn't Parisian French, but it was still French, and so like Quebecois or whatever, and so yeah, it's been funny how like the vast majority of the country, obviously Spanish is going to be the language that's going to get you by better, secondary to English. But I happen to be, my experience happens to line up where the French was actually, and I didn't take it for a good reason. Like I took it because I was being slightly racist about immigrants when I was in high school, because that was how I was raised to see things. I've since corrected that view, but like for the time, it was like I wasn't going to learn Spanish because dirty immigrants won't learn English, and which is horrific. I hate that that's a way that I viewed the world at that time, but that was, so I had a very bad reason for choosing French, but it happened to pan out that was actually the more useful language in my life. Oh, I didn't see Turkey or People's Republic of China. That's what makes it a forgot I was doing the challenge. I forgot I was doing the weekly challenge. Read the details. Okay, so I can't go through China. Okay. There you go. Well, can't go through Turkey. All right. So what I want to do is skirt around to Iran, then up through the Caucasus to Russia, and down through Ukraine. Okay. What's the fastest way to do that? Laos? Myanmar? India? Let me try that. Is that gonna... Laos doesn't take it yet. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. I think I'm onto it. Alright, now from Iran up through the Caucasus, I probably want to do... I don't think Iran touches Georgia. So I probably need to do Armenia to Azerbaijan. Does it touch Georgia? Let me see if it touches Azerbaijan. How do you? I don't know. Azerbaijan. It does. Okay. Oh, is that the one that's actually closer? Does Azerbaijan touch Russia? It does. Oh, we got this. Okay, so now it's just the Balkans can get tricky sometimes. So Romania. Right. Oh. Does Bulgaria touch up? I think it does. I think it might. Let's try it. It does not. But that's fine. It touches Greece. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that distribution, baby. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of people doing +2s. Wonder where. Probably in the Balkans. It's probably in Indochina and the Balkans. You have a bunch of little countries. You have to figure out which ones touch which ones. I don't imagine there's a lot of mistakes once you get from from India through India, Pakistan, Iran, bit. Probably Russia, Ukraine, Romania is pretty sorted out. So it's probably over here. Down here. I almost made a mistake. Where's Armenia? Oh yeah, right there. Okay, so I was right. Armenia can go through Armenia to get to. You just don't have to. Okay. What do we know about it? Spanish Coliseum. Okay. Where's Seville? Okay. We, a river. Ooh. Where's it? Zoom out. Let me get it a little closer. Okay. Okay. Chinese and Arabic are really hard to like. You just see different letters. Too. Same reason. The script is just really hard for me. That's just because of my own, but like, just trying to take in. There's so many. It's so many lines. Like with Arabic, there's so many circles. There's loops. So many loops with Arabic. And over here, there's so many. Honestly, a lot of these. Much better to meal or whatever. Oh God. Okay. Okay. So if it's somewhere over here. Okay. Oh, all right. Good. Same scale. Okay. So. Uh-huh. Mountainous bits with glaciers. Oh, I see. Oh. Is that right there? Is it right there? Yes. Yes. I think I might get this one. Get this one. That's a nice little station. Notable about it, but it's nice. Maybe that's what's notable about it. Oh no. I can't post the results because think I did. Oh, I did Metazilla last night. So it's gonna be today's results. Already done. Huh. Wasn't it already 3,000 miles? Not that far. Different direction. Ordering. It's not Latvia. That's also based. It's not Poland. It's based in the UK. So it's gotta be. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think that is it was for today. Let me see. So you didn't think about what time it was. I did it. Yep, I did it. Last night. So I guess that's all the games. All right, good deal. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to stream right now because I was gonna do. I have game tonight. Hopefully, we have game tonight. Tonight is supposed to be Shadowrun. We got Shadowrun tonight. I'm really hoping that works out because it's been a while. Anyway, so join us tonight. We'll see you then. Thanks for hanging out.